Now, because I want to do 2 bends the same, I'm going to mark on my bender there where I went to. So then the next one I can pull the exact same first angle. Agreed?
Agreed.
What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to my latest video, The Life of a Jobbing Plumber. Slightly different video this weekend. Normally I do a mixture of different jobs of what I've been doing in the week, but this week I was on a big job. We did a full system conversion, me and Marcus from B Plumbing. He's a plumber in Nottingham. We met at a charity install a few years ago, and now we help each other out on big jobs. So we're working together on this one. There's lots going on. It's an old floor standing boiler. We're doing a system conversion to a Vaillant combi, all in copper, new radiators, vertical flue. There's some pipe bending in there, all kinds of things. So hopefully you're really going to enjoy it. Sponsored by Tradeify. There'll be a little bit on that because I'm getting on really well with the app. I'll shut up now. Hope you enjoy the video. So this video I took at the quoting stage of the job. So you can see we've got this lovely old floor standing boiler, 4 pipes, gravity hot water, flow and return, and then pumped central heating flow and return. But just look at the condition of this, it's perfect. I asked Marcus to ask the customer if we could save this boiler to give to a local college because it was in such good condition, but by the time we got back to the job, the customer had ripped it out and the scrap man had took him, which is a shame. And then we've got a standard airing cupboard, which is upstairs on the landing, 28mm primaries, that's the gravity, flow and return from the boiler to heat this hot water cylinder, and then hot and cold coming off that. Hot and cold go through the wall at the bottom corner there to feed the bathroom, just there in the corner, and then the 2 at the front go down and they go down to the kitchen. So the customer has already decommissioned everything, strained down, all the rads are off and the new rads are hung. This was the old cylinder cupboard. We've got to take the boards up to run the new heating around, but yeah, he's hung all the radiators roughly where we want them. So I'm going to start up here. I'm going to basically try and tidy these pipes up. Obviously we don't want them in the way. Get them under the floor for the combi that's going in here. Possibly move those coming from the bath, from under the bath. And Marcus is downstairs dressing the rads, and then we'll get some of this lovely copper pipe in. So just took these boards up. We've already got notched. We're taking 2 22mm pipes straight down there, so we can reuse them. Check this out. This one's completely gone. They've screwed that so it sits. Come in. Have you ever took a bath panel off and it been that clean underneath? Wow, that's cleaner than my house.
That is clean. And they've even used copper coloured plastic pipe.
No expense spared. So what I'm probably going to do is get onto those pipes under the bath and come through the floor where I want them to come through for the boiler. And then we've got, they're having a new bathroom at some point. There's going to be a shower valve in the wall, so I'll probably chase the wall out to put the pipes in for the shower valve, because other side of that wall is where the boiler's going to be, so we won't have room to do it. Right, what we're doing?
So we've got to get 2 pipes down here
for
radiators, and also the gas back up. Now I've had a bit of a measure, and unfortunately I think we're somewhere about there.
Shit.
Literally.
Yeah, so that's the gas meter in this cupboard. So we're going to bring the gas up in this corner, obviously in that corner there, which is under the toilet, And then 2 heating pipes have got to come down as well to go through the wall here somewhere, because we've got a radiator on this wall here. Come through in this corner if we can. Let's pipe that up. This is Bam Bam. Hello, boy. Look nervous, but he's a good boy. He's too nervous. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. You're being very good, aren't you? So one of the problems with hanging a boiler in an old airing cupboard is it's quite tight, and we've also got these two from the front of the cupboard stopping me from actually standing in and lifting it on. Obviously I've got to lift this heavy boiler and somehow get in there. So what you need a cupboard rat. So basically I will try now, pass the boiler through here, and then Marcus is going to lift it up and then I'll guide it onto the bracket. But yeah, they're really difficult to do on your own. Even if the boiler's light, it's just an awkward space to get in. So we've got the boiler on the wall, and I've put my bottom row of clips in because we've got filters and things. I'm not sure where I want my clips yet above, but I'm taking hot and cold through the wall there to get rid of these two. Then they've got to come down and connect on with these two. That's the hot, that's the cold. Unfortunately, they've got a crossover because hot's this side, cold's this side. So I'm going to bring it over, bend it up to go through on a T. And this one's going to bend. It's going to have to go down below that one, below the hot, across and up. And we've also got, coming from this side, the gas, which is going to run under. Got to come up in the middle, so quite a lot of bending to do. So we'll see how I get on. So this is my first one. This is the hot. Up the wall, T through, and then kick out. I've got a dog leg and I wanted 90mm. So as I've told you before, I just offer it in and then run it parallel and measure the distance between the two. And that's 90mm. And just bend that. So that's the first one done. That's the hot. 90mm offset and a 90-degree bend going up. Let's see if it fits. Right, here we go. So that is gonna sit in that clip and then come across and join into there. That's perfect. So that's the pipe in. It's going to be a press fit socket onto there. That's the pipe in, just got to solder it. Obviously we've got the T that goes through the wall there, and then swage the socket on the end of that pipe. Notice I've still not put the clips on because I'm not too sure where our filters are going to line up, so I want to get my second row clips nicely lined to suit everything. But yeah, I'm just going to solder this now. So just a quick thing, I don't know if I showed you this, but I bought this flexible hose from Rothenberger so I could keep my gas bottle in the bag and I could solder things remotely and easily. But I've had it less than a month, it's already split. There was gas pissing out of there. So yeah, maybe I didn't look after it, I don't know, but I'd say avoid that. So that's the hot in and soldered. So now I'm going to get the cold, which is going to come alongside, and then just here I've got to step under it and then come across, and the same again, bend up to go through the wall on a T. And then this void here, this gap, gives us room to get the gas in between the two. So I've just offered in, you can see 2 offcuts of copper, so I can do my distance, and then I'll bend this and I'm gonna have a look. Hopefully that goes in as good as the hot did. So that's the cold bent, running parallel, and it crosses over, but we're on top at the minute, so I'm gonna put a dog leg in here just to kick us down to get us underneath the hot. So I'll do that next, but that's pretty much spot on. So that's our cold. See, we step down and up. So now I've got to try and get this under here. So I'll go through this one. Over there. Go like that, just to get it in. So that is going to go into that hole in the wall there, T into there, and then it comes, crosses, and then goes under like that, and then into that pipe there. Pretty good. So that's the original hot and cold. Just clean them up, pressed sockets on there, and then they run through and then drop down to get under that one. Hot through, cold through. That one's connected. This one's going to have an inline cold water filter on it and a mini shock arrestor, I think. So that's why I've left that one short. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. So we got the hot and cold in. They're both connected, got an inline filter and a mini shock arrestor. The gas is in, that's connected all the way back down to the meter. We've just capped it off for tonight so that they can have the cooker on to cook their tea. So what I'm doing now is the return, which has got to drop down underneath the gas pipe, then jump back up to sit in here. So let's go and look at that. So I've bent that, it comes down the wall from the boiler, 90, and then underneath the gas, and kicks back up, and it's going to sit in the joist.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Right, so I'm just trying out the app on my phone. I've set it up on my computer. So if I click on Tradify, that's my diary for today. It's a Saturday. I've only put one job in because I'm still testing it out. But if I click on that job, that brings me up the job, and then I could be sat outside the job and I need to say to the tenant, I'm at the door, call, I'll hide the number, and that gives me the option there to call the tenant's number that I've saved in. Click on message, and I can say I'm on my way, running late, I've arrived, and that goes to the number that I've saved for this job for the tenant. That's pretty cool. And if we go into the job, I can start a timer so I know how long I was in the job. Job status, so when I've finished it I can change it to invoice, and that gives me a different notification. I'm loving this. I'm going to try and do this without showing you the actual addresses, but if I do this, anything in red is a job that's not been completed yet. Now I'm in the area. I know I've got a gas certificate where the tenants have been a nightmare to get hold of. It's Saturday morning, so I'm going to find that job now and click on it, and then I'm going to call the tenant, and that's now calling them all from within the app. This is good. So I've just spoken to the tenant. She's agreed for me to go today. At the minute the job's unassigned, so what I'm going to do, if I get this right, is go into schedule. Obviously we've only got the one job in today that I've just done. I'm going to add that today, time to order 11, finish time, I just put 12. That's the job number, because it automatically takes you in, and save that. And now that's added and told me I've been scheduled for an appointment. So that's that job now in my diary for today. Oh, this is good. So much better than what I did before. Right, so just finished that job. So back into the app. Today's jobs. So that's the first one I did that's to invoice, and this is the one I've just done. So if I click on that, and then job status, because it's finished, to invoice, and then if I set this up as a job template because it's just a gas certificate. If I wanted to add something on, gas safety inspection, this is a certificate. If I wanted to add something on, say I'd serviced the boiler or done a repair maybe, I can add that in the notes before I save it, but that's all done pretty straightforward. That's to invoice, so save that. Now there's the two jobs I've done today that need to be invoiced. So you can probably tell I'm quite enjoying this app. If you want to try it out, you get a 14-day free trial, and you can also get 50% off your first 3 months if you use code B Plumber. I'll leave a link to that in the description of the video. Right, so we're on day 2 now. We've got the hot and cold on, connected and live. So we left them with hot and cold water last night. The gas was on last night. I've just we just put a compression cap on there so the gas could be back on, because I've got to solder that to connect it. So all the bathroom, the rad in the bathroom, the gas that comes from under the toilet, everything in the bathroom is done, so we could leave them with a working bathroom last night. So I'm going to carry on with the pipe work. Got the flow to do. That's going to come underneath where I'm sat, and then sort of connect on and go to all the different rooms. So now what I'm doing now is connecting the gas. You can see I've got 2 swages there. I've got one, just can't see it on the return. So just was going to talk about swaging now. Every time I swage a pipe, so form a socket in the pipe, someone will say, oh, you're not allowed to do that, it weakens a pipe, whatever. You are allowed to do it. It's just a bit of an urban myth, and I don't think it weakens the pipe. It stretches it slightly, but so does bending. Bending stretches your pipe. So I thought I'd show you, if we can see on the quality of my camera, but we've got a swaged piece of copper and an unswaged. Let me get them level. If there is a difference, it's very, very minimal, but that just allows us to join 2 pieces. Only one joint, only one solder, so I think that's stronger. And if you think about it, with the 2 in together, you've got double the thickness. So I love it. I think it looks great. It's traditional. It's just a dying art. And then the other thing I was going to show you is we've got, so we're going to put a T on there with the 15 mil centre, because we're going to put a test point in so we can gas rate the boiler. You don't get a test point on the gas connection on a Vaillant. So we've got these now. I've not used these before, but these are called finger fittings. So basically we've got a test point one there, and that's just going to get soldered in to that T. They also do air vents, air peps, and that's to take something like a pressure gauge. You know, when you want to thread in a pressure gauge, you've got a female adapter. Yeah, they're called finger fittings. Pretty cool. So we've got a radiator here on a drop. So we've got 2 pipes coming down from upstairs. We're going to keep them tight in the corner as possible. And then we've got a dog leg out to go up, because we've got a joist here. The joist is literally just there. So dog leg up there, and then they're going to bend this way. I'll show you upstairs now. So this is the upstairs. We've come under here, picked up this rad, carried on, and then these 2 pipes have got to extend now down there where I've just shown you. So basically they'll come up and then bend this way so we can connect on. So we've got 160 from this side of the ceiling, and then from the corner we've got to come we'll call that 180 and 220 just to give us some room. So 220, 180. So I'm going to pull 290s first. I've marked them, so we'll get that bit done first. So there's 90s. We've got 160, which is the depth to the centre of the ceiling. And then we're going to add 15 mil on for the thickness of the plasterboard. So go from the centre, 175. And then we'll give it 15 mil before we start the dog leg, because obviously it's going to come out of the ceiling and that's going to kick across into the corner. Says 90. We're going to now bend it this way, and that's our dog leg. I'm just doing this angle by eye, what I think is going to look neater. Obviously if you've got a small gap, it's only a very small angle, but the bigger your gap, the bigger the angle of the bend. But yeah, just by eye. So that's my first bend. Now what you can do is, if you I've got a pipe in, and the centre between here and here is 100 mil, which is about there, and you can see, does that look about right? Is that sort of like a 45-degree angle? I think that's going to look nice, so that's where I'm going to leave it. Now because I want to do 2 bends the same, I'm going to mark on my bender there where I went to. So then the next one I can pull the exact same first angle. Agreed? So that's 190, which is the same as this measurement here, so that will pull exactly the same. But because we're going in a clip 25mm apart, I've added 25mm on there, so that's where I'm going to bend this bend from, if that makes sense. So just bend that to that same line there. Okay, so that's those two bent the same. Now notice this one's shorter and this one's longer, because this one goes in first, and then we've got a pipe to come this way. We're going to have an elbow on that and then an elbow on that. If we'd done it the other way round, then this one would have had to cross over this one. So now we're going to carry on with the dog leg to bring these straight. So that's our 100mm, just measure with that parallel. So now I can bend that. So that's our first one done. Just offered them together, 25mm between, because that's the clip distance. So I've laid a spare piece of pipe next to that one. I'm just going to mark on this pipe here, like that. That's the centre. Oh, pencil's broke. That's the centre there. Let's see, there's the cross there. I'm just going to move it until it almost disappears. With one hand, this is almost impossible. Anyway, about there. Okay, so we're done. Now we've got to fish them up in there, but also, because these are on full lengths, measure and cut them, because then they're going to connect on in that corner and come across. So we'll do that next. Use all his strength.
Oh, I've lost all my strength by carrying you.
Do you want me to do it? But he needs his step.
Not tall enough.
There we go. Right, so there's the first one. That's gone well. Second one's on its way.
Second one's always the more awkward one.
To go up slightly.
Which one?
Second one, yeah, just up slightly.
Happy?
Yeah, might need a little tweak, but yeah, looks good. And then, yeah, into those clips and soldered on at the bottom. Yeah. Let's go and have a look upstairs. There they are, ready to connect on to these two. So we're doing a vertical flue on this job. Now, just drilled the hole, that's the centre of the flue line. We've covered the flue over and stopped getting any dust down it. You can just see the joist there, the timber in the roof above. We've been lucky. A lot of the time you'll find, sod's law, that timber is right in the middle where you want to go. So you'll have to put a couple of 45s on. But that's quite good. So we're going to go straight up into the roof, and then we're going to, well, film in the roof, and then we'll film on the roof, putting the lead slate on and fitting the vertical flue. Because a lot of guys ask me to see that, but we do quite a lot of vertical flues like that onto our, there. Yep. Push it down.
Okay, ready?
And then got the collar. There we go. Right, so this is me on the roof. There's the vans. Always get a good view off the roof. So, what's going to happen now is Marcus is in the roof and he's going to poke a screwdriver up. You can hear it now. So he's moving the tile there. So I'm going to move these tiles. Right, do it again. So what we're going to do is slide these up. Oh, there he is. So now we've got a cut in the felt. Move these. I'm going to turn the phone off.
And then you can sort of mount it wherever.
Oh, fucking hell.
45.
Like Michael Jackson's Thriller.
What?
You So yeah, the flue's gonna come up there basically. So we'll get the lead slate up here, we'll offer it up. We might have to put some 45s in because the centre was there, but that's it in that lath. So move it a bit to get us away from that. Right, so there's our slate. Now where we want it, it's going to hit that one. It's also going to mean cutting a bit off this tile because that tile comes, I don't know if you can see it, but there, it's going to be in the way. So what we're going to do is bring it into the centre, so that way we don't have to cut this tile, that will go on top. The only one we have to take out is this one. And don't have to alter anything on these tiles. We just have to put two 45s in the roof to meet up, which I'll show you on the inside. But yeah, it's not a bad one to be honest. So one tile out, and then that'll be the centre, that little hole I've ripped in there. The most important thing is that the flue comes up straight. That's pretty much where it's going to be. Marcus is going to cut the flue turret, which is down there. Pretty much it. So the lead slate's on, the tiles around it. There's only one tile been removed. Yeah. So that's the flue off the boiler, up into the roof space, clipped on the first meter there, it's attached to the joist. And then the two 45s, which just make less work on the roof. You know, it's not hard to cut a couple of 45s, and obviously you've got to pay for them, but it's a lot easier than messing around with roof tiles. Who's going to do the honours?
What could be an electrocutor?
Oh, that's a good start.
Can't beat a loading.
So it shows you this before, we've got installation assistants, so basically the Vaillant will walk you through everything. De-aeration feature which we spoke to you about before, basically we've got water in the pipes. Any air is going to be trapped at the top in this coil of a heat exchanger, so it's going to do like a de-aeration function to get rid of that. Yeah, so we'll get it all set up and then maybe we'll talk through some of the menu with you, so you can hear it getting the air out. It just tells you what it's doing, so it purges the heating circuit, and then when it's happy with that it will do the hot water circuit. So we just have to wait around basically. While that's doing that, we'll clear some kit away.
So set the flop target temperature for the heating, set it to 65. Next, target temperature for the hot water 60. Next, comfort mode, turn that on just for now.
What's comfort mode?
Next, comfort mode keeps the boiler warm so they get hot water quicker.
So like a preheat basically.
Yeah. Heating part load, what we've got here, 8 radiators.
Yeah.
So we'll probably drop that down to, I think probably 15, 16.
So this boiler comes 32 kilowatts, which we don't need for the heating, we need for the hot water. So we're gonna, auto it would use up to 32 kilowatts, so you can manually set this.
We'll drop this down to, I think 14 probably. Got no auxiliary relays, this bit's a bit. No extra circulation pumps. Contact number, I could put my number in here.
So we've got wireless programmable room stat, that's the receiver plugs in. And that's the stat, and that can go on the wall or it stands up quite nicely, these ones do. A bit chunky, aren't they?
It goes onto a bracket.
Most people just stand them up like that though.
Yeah.
So if we don't know, we've put a test point there for the gas. Main reason on a Vaillant you don't get one on our gas connection there, there's no test point. You'll probably find if you fit in Baxies or I don't know what other boilers you fit, they'll have one on, but this one's not, so we've fitted one there. Marcus is going to explain what we're doing now.
So we're just doing an inlet pressure test. You don't want no more than 1 millibar drop from your meter to your boiler. And we've actually got 20.3 and we had 21 at the meter, so we're definitely in on that.
The hot tap's on full.
Yeah. Boiler's running full.
We've got working pressure 20 millibar.
Yeah. Yeah, got full flame.
We're in the D menu, we've got the hot tap running, so that's running hot there, and that's telling us that we've got 12 litres per minute. So if we look in our instruction manual at the technical data, we've got a Vaillant Ecotech Plus 832 So 13 litres per minute, we should get a 35 degree rise. 11 litres per minute, 42 degree rise. So we should be expecting at 12 litres per minute to have somewhere between 35 and 42 degree rise. That's the flow temperature.
So we're at roughly 50 degrees.
No, you want to do a hot water outlet temperature.
Yeah, but that's, well, yeah, which you think's D4, do you?
Yeah. What's D3?
Like actual temperature.
So a hot outlet temperature is 52 degrees. Now I'm just going to show you a real good trick, because what you would normally do now is take the temperature reading off the cold coming in, but if we go inside the boiler, if I just give you that. If we rip the cover off the boiler, with one hand. Okay. So this is our hot water temperature sensor here, which is reading that 52 degrees, and we put that on the cold incoming there. So that's going to give us the reading of the cold coming in, which is 13 degrees. So if we take that off the 52, 39 degree temperature rise, which is about bang on for what we just looked at in the book. Just remember to put it back. Just clips off. Just to go on the hot there. Little tip for you. That's us done now, so everything's back together. We've got the, obviously the radiators are all on, connected, systems flush, balanced up. So I'll just quickly run through what we've got here. So on the left, this is our flow to the central heating system. So that's a deaerator or air separator. So that strips micro air bubbles out the system. The idea behind that is no air in the water, no corrosion. Goes on the hottest point of the system, so as close to the boiler as you can get it. Then we've got obviously the gas test nipple, cold water scale reducer, mini shock arrestor that protects component parts in the boiler, especially if the customer's got a water meter. Dirt separator or magnetic filter. This is a magnetic jacket around that. That separates any dirt out of the system water to keep the water clean. Then over onto the right, that's a neutralizer on the condense. Now the reason we've got that is this runs into a cast iron stack in the corner there. Obviously condensed water is slightly acidic, alkaline, and that eats away at the cast iron. So to protect that, it's got this cartridge in, and that gets serviced or replaced basically once a year. Just got to pop the date on that. And then we've got that's a Tesla, not a Tesla, that's a Macton, McAlpine one. Dry trap tundish, so it's got a non-return valve in it, like a fanny trap, so smells from the sewer can't get back up and out, but the PRV can go into it. Yeah, that's it. It's been a nice job. You're right in there.